Do you know that NNPC engages in black market crude oil sales? Black market crude oil sales. Now, what is black market crude oil sales? Like the name implies, if you understand how black market fuel is, you have the official price. NNPC sells at 617 naira in Abuja, for instance. Then black market can be 1,000, it can be 1,003, it can be 1,200. How do you get black market? Any fuel that is not sold at the filling station, any fuel that you get outside of the official filling station source is black market. Any fuel that you get outside of the official filling station at a higher price, usually when you get outside of the official source, you pay higher for it. So that is why it is black market. As it is in fuel, that is how it is in dollar. Any dollar you get outside of the official source at the bank, you usually will pay higher. And that's why you have the Bureau de Change. They call it black market, right? So, do you know that when it comes to selling Nigeria's crude oil, the NNPC can also engages in black market crude oil sales? So you ask, what is black market crude oil sale? Black market crude oil sale arises when you consider the whole international commerce structure. Oil is sold at official international price, and that is fixed by OPEC. That international price is determined by the quota that OPEC gives to individual countries. And usually OPEC gives this quota to individual member countries to control the price. You know, market forces. If individual countries, because they have so much crude oil reserves, pump out too much crude oil into the market, what happens? The price will fall. And if each individual countries reduces their output, what happens in the international market? There will be scarcity, the price will go up. So when the prices go up, the countries that buy, the Europeans, the Americans, even though America also has crude oil, but they like to, they are not exploring their crude oil now. In fact, there's a ban on it because they want to use your own and exhaust your own first. They call it strategic oil reserves, right? That's a policy. You want to finish your own. When your own crude oil reserve is finished, they will still have crude oil. So they are not tapping into their crude oil reserves 100% right now. They are not, but they buy. So if the price on the international market is high, what happens is that the buyers are not happy. So there is a trade-off. OPEC now regulates the output that countries put out. That's for OPEC. That's the official channel. But do you know that outside of OPEC quota, countries can actually sell crude oil outside of OPEC quota? But this means that if you are selling outside of OPEC quota, it now depends on the negotiation that you have with the country or the company that is buying from you. So if officially, this is why it is black market. Officially, NNPC records that the official price of crude is $70, for instance, and OPEC quota is 2.5 million barrels per day. NNPC can do 4 million barrels per day in an arrangement with the joint venture, the IOCs. They can do with Shell, they can do with Ajib. Joint venture, because really it is these IOCs that actually extract the crude oil from the ground. They're the ones that have the oil rigs, the wellheads that extract the crude oil and use pipelines to pump the crude oil either to the tank of NNPC or to the loading terminals. So NNPC enters into this joint venture arrangement with the IOCs, and they can pump out, say, 4 million barrels per day, but they cannot declare or sell that on the OPEC platform. So they can, if OPEC gives them 2.5 million barrels per day quota, and they have gone into an arrangement with the IOCs, the oil companies, international oil companies, to extract 4 million barrels per day, they will not declare the excess 1.5 million barrels per day to OPEC. They will declare that one. That one will now be a black market arrangement, which they usually will sell cheaper than the international price. So NNPC does not rely on the official OPEC quota alone to get revenue from crude oil. They engage in black market arrangement. And you see, for them to engage in black market arrangement, NNPC needs to have his own agent or brokers. And then the buying company or the buying country will need to have his own agent or brokers. Now, when they sell and they give a discount, say $10, which means that if the price on the international market is $70, this black market arrangement will now sell at $60. The $10 discount will be shared. 60% of it will go to the buyer, which means that effectively the buyer buys at $66, right? Then 20% will go to the broker of NNPC, the agent of NNPC, which NNPC has the power to appoint, which means that Mele Kyari, as the group CEO of NNPC, can set up a company, I did not say has or set up a company, can set up a company and use that company as an agent, and that company will get 20% of the discount. The same thing, the remaining 20% goes to the agent of the country or the company that is buying the crude oil from NNPC in the black market. This will not be only people who they sell petrol for road, they do black market fuel. Even NNPC does black market. And they have a template agreement for this. NNPC's document, not mine. Documents are out there. It's public knowledge. It's just that we Nigerians were in a habit of not... Things are in our front, but we don't see. They are there. So NNPC does that black market. And they don't declare it on the OPEC platform. They sell it off OPEC. And also, the bad thing or the bad side to this is that because the arrangement is between NNPC and the joint venture and the IOCs in a joint venture partnership arrangement. And remember, the IOCs or the oil companies, Shell, Ajib, and so on, they are the ones that have the oil rigs that actually extract the crude oil from the ground. They control the volume that comes out from the wellheads, right? They are the ones that know. See, the metering of the crude that comes from the wellhead, they are the ones that determine it. They are the ones that will tell NNPC, okay, this is what quantity we have extracted. They are the ones that tell NNPC. Or NNPC deliberately allows them that leverage so that the transparency will not be there. It will not be clear to us. We will not be able, they will not tell you, oh, we cannot determine or we don't have that value, we have to depend. They can actually insist, since we are a sovereign country, to say that, okay, let us also put our own meter on the wellheads to measure the amount of crude oil that comes out. They can do that. But somehow it is the international oil companies that have that metering. So the international oil companies will now tell Nigeria officially that, okay, we did, instead of declaring the 4 million barrels per day that they extracted, and tell Nigerians that 2.5 million barrels per day was for OPEC to sell into the international market. Of course, they would take their partnership quota out. It's a JV arrangement, joint venture, partnership. The cost of extraction, they have to pay for it somehow with crude oil. In addition to that, what they now do is they will not declare even the OPEC quota completely. They will now come and tell Nigeria and tell the federal government and tell CBN and tell the Minister of Finance that, oh, we were not able to extract OPEC quota of 2.5 million barrels per day. We're only able to extract 1.5 million barrels. And you know what they do? The excess of that 1.5 million barrels and 4 million, which is now 2.5 million barrels, they will sell it in the black market and they will pocket the money. They will pocket the money. How do they pocket the money? By the percentage. So the discount will come through 60% of the discount goes to the buyer, 20% of the discount goes to NNPC's agent or broker, 20% goes to the buyer's agent or broker. Now, the remaining amount is what they will now might declare as sales. And most times they might not even declare it. That's why it's all black market. When NNPC tells you that we cannot meet OPEC quota, take that statement with a pinch of salt. How does OPEC fix or arrive at OPEC quota for member countries? They arrive at that value to keep a balance in the international market. Because like I said earlier, if individual country pumps out too much fuel, too much crude into the international market, the price will fall. And if they pump out too little, the price will increase. So for a balance, they give quota. So if OPEC gives Nigeria 2.5 million barrels per day quota, right? And Nigeria fails to meet that 2.5 million barrels per day quota in a year, what happens is OPEC will review the quota downwards. So ask yourself, has OPEC reviewed our quota downwards? No, they have not, because it means that we are meeting OPEC quota. That is one meaning. We are meeting OPEC quota, just that NNPC is not declaring officially that we are meeting OPEC quota. Because if we don't meet OPEC quota, that means there will be less crude in the international market, and that means the price will go up. And the buyers will not like that. The Europeans will not like that. The people who don't have oil, even including the Americans, they won't like that. So OPEC will now take the deficit of the quota from that particular country, for Nigeria, for instance, and give it to another country. So, but when you see a situation whereby NNPC or the federal government is telling Nigerians that we are not able to meet our oil quota, and yet OPEC has not reduced our quota, it simply means that somebody is lying somewhere. They are selling in black market. If Tinubu is interested in fighting corruption, which he claims is interested in fighting corruption, let him call on the NNPC to come and dispute this information that I'm giving. I challenge the NNPC to come and dispute this information that I am giving, that they do not sell crude oil in black market. Let them come and dispute it. I challenge them. You see, Nigeria is our country. You people that are engaged in this corruption, you don't know what you're doing. These international oil companies, they are owned by IFCs that are owned by IMF and World Bank. They don't want us Africans or Nigerians to progress. They don't want us to be energy self-sufficient. They don't want to be food self-sufficient. They don't want us to have energy security or food security. They don't want us to have it. They don't act in our overall best interests. So when they push you guys to do these things, you are actually harming your own country. You are actually acting unpatriotically. and they see it. Behind you, they are laughing at you. Behind you, they are mocking you. Because they will not do what you are doing to their own country. They will act, no matter how much they want to make money, they will not act the way you are acting to the detriment of their own country because they are looking for money. They won't. So when they make you do these things and you fall for their traps, they are laughing at you behind. And guess what? All the dollars that you make, you can't hide them in Nigeria here. You can't store them in Nigerian banks. So what happens? They are gaining in two ways. You are forced to store those money in their own banks. In the banks that are owned by the same IFCs and IMF and World Bank. You are forced to store it in JP Morgan Chase and Wells and Fargo and all those Dutch. You are forced to store the money there. And so long as the money is stored there, guess what? You are creating unemployment in Nigeria. You are creating underdevelopment in Nigeria. And you are using money that is supposed to be meant for Nigeria's benefit to develop Nigeria. You are using it to develop those countries. Can't you see? Can't you see how much money is it that you need in this life that will make you mortgage the future of your country? That will make you sell out your country like this, cheap. And then you come out and lie to the citizens of Nigeria. Nigerians, we must begin to ask questions. These people have been lying to us. These leaders have been lying to us from time immemorial. It is time for us to now begin to demand truths from them. We must demand truth for them. Nigeria, we must fix it. And it requires the collective effort of everybody. It requires the collective effort of everybody. NNPC engages in black market crude oil sale, and it's not to the benefit of Nigeria. They make these things look so complicated so that the more you look, the less you see. So that the thing is right in your front, but you cannot understand it. It is actually very, very simple. If you simplify it, if you break it down like I've broken it down now, you will see that there is so much corruption in that sector. And you know what baffles me? The president, since the time of Buhari, the president right now, Tinubu, are the ministers of petroleum. So can Tinubu honestly come out and say, since the buck stops at his desk, not as president now, but as minister of petroleum, can he come out to say that he's unaware of these things that I just said? If he is unaware, then I am bringing it to his awareness. I'm bringing it before him. Let him take actions and let us see. The oil and gas industry is not so complicated. It is actually very, very simple. Very, very simple. Just that they don't want you to know. And that is why they come out to tell you that our refineries are not working. Our refineries are old. Government does not have a business in business. They come and tell you all those jargons. The refinery in Texas is almost 300 years old. And is still working efficiently at full capacity. 300 years old. How old is our own? If the refineries are truly not working, how come they are paying the refinery staff on a yearly basis billions if the refineries are not working? They're just sabotaging it so that the crude can be sold in the black market. And once it's sold in the black market, they have the prerogative to either declare or not to declare. And that is why there is so much opaqueness, so much opacity in the transactions of NNPC. You have an NNPC where even the CBN governor does not know what is happening there. You have an NNPC where even the Minister of Finance does not know what is happening there. Because these transactions are happening outside of Nigeria's financial system, outside of Nigeria's banks. If NNPC sells crude, because they have the power to do that, according to the Petroleum Industry Act, and they sell crude, black market, who is to know? If they take the money and put the money in a JP Morgan Chase account, who will know? Or they put the money in Dutch bank, how will CBN know? CBN cannot know. EFCC cannot know. It's only when you do international forensics audit and you go to the destination ports That is only when you can know. And that is why you have this Agboyima, this former House of Rep member that wants to be governor of Edo State now. When you hear their report and you hear Ise Sage, or is it Ise Sage? Omono Obla. When you hear Obono Obla coming to say the things they say, these are information they get from the destination port. But from Nigeria here, you can't get that information because the transactions are happening outside of Nigeria's financial system. So EFCC cannot know, but the Nigerian Navy can know, because they actually cannot do these things without the Nigerian Navy. They can't do it without NIMASA. They can't do it without. So they put a cloak of complexity on it to shroud their black market activities at the detriment of Nigeria. And I'm calling on the AFCC. I'm calling on the federal government led by Tinubu. I'm calling on Tinubu. Take action, save Nigeria. You have all the money you need to spend in 100 lifetimes. You don't need more. At this point, I want to appeal to you. Act in the interest of Nigeria. Act in the interest of country. Act to save your own face, because right now, they are laughing at you behind your back. World leaders are laughing at you behind your back. Business people, all these IOCs, they are laughing at you behind your back. And Nigerians, wake up. But what does that even mean, Seth? What does it mean to say Nigerians wake up? We have been saying wake up, wake up, wake up. Are we sleeping? Wake up, wake up. How? What does it mean to wake up? We need to organize. We need to join a party like Abundance Party of Nigeria. We need to organize. We need to solve the followership problem by enacting projects like the Free Food and Social Welfare Law. We need to do it. If we don't, we are doomed. We are done for. Because we cannot keep appealing to this present crop of leaders to fix Nigeria. They are not interested. They are I won't blame them. If they don't want to fix it, I won't blame them. Have you driven in a 2024 Land Cruiser before? Have you driven in a Rolls Royce before 2024? Have you flown private jet before? You can only buy these things when you have easy money. And these people are getting this easy money, even though it's at the detriment of their country. They're having this easy money. So if they're having easy money and they're enjoying this life, you think they will want to give it up? If you have been in a private jet before, or you are living in Banana Island with in a house that is worth billions, or you are flying, you are driving Rolls Royce 2024 Land Cruiser 2024 with Mopo escorts in front and in back, you think you want to leave it? They won't want to leave it. That's why I don't blame them. Let them continue enjoying it. But if Nigeria will change, it is up to you and I to come together and fix this country. You know, the sad thing is, they know that if Nigeria works for all of us, they will still benefit. It's not like if Nigeria works for all of us, they will not drive their Rolls Royce anymore. It's not like that too. They will still drive their Rolls Royce. They will still fly their private jet. But somehow, these IMF and World Bank people have found a way to control their mind, to not look at the possibility of developing their country and also enjoying those benefits. They are not looking at it. So it is left to you and I as Nigerians to think and act in the interest of Nigeria. And that is why we must fix the leadership problem. And it starts at the recruitment center. And where is that? The political parties. Right now, the way the political parties are structured, they are not structured in such a way that will throw up credible candidates. They are not structured in such a way, because they are tilted towards big money politics. We need to set up a new political party, you and I, and I'm inviting you to join the move to do that, based on clearly stated ideologies, so many of them. If you're interested, you can ask me about it. The link is in the description. It's in the bio. Please check it. Join us. Let us create this political party. Let us open up and democratize the political scene. Let us make it possible for credible candidates to come up for elections, so that we can change these leaders for people who will work in the best interest of Nigeria. Anything save that, we're wasting our time. And that's just the simple truth.